Hi, my name is Keelan, and this is my video for my Needs Assessment and Analysis class. I will quickly review my Needs Assessment and Analysis project as well as some of the lessons I learned. So some background, I work at a military fitness facility aboard Naval Station in Newport. It's open to active duty service members, their family, retirees, DoD, civilians, so we have a lot of customers that come in on a regular basis. The client was the fitness director, and the potential learners are the recreation specialists. Recreation specialists are the people that man the front desk. They interact with customers on a daily basis. And one way that they interact with customers is through transactions. So we have available for purchase drinks and energy bars. Patrons can also sign up and pay for swim lessons or karate lessons. They can rent lockers, and there are other fitness events that they need to pay for. And the recreationist specialists use a point of sale machine and RecTrack, which is a specific software, to complete those transactions. Right now there's no formalized training for the point of sale machine and RecTrack software. Recreation specialists will learn how to do it through on-the-job training from other recreation specialists. The problem is that not everyone knows the correct process to be able to complete these transactions successfully. And unsuccessful transactions, or if it's not efficient or if it takes too long, can negatively impact customer service. So to start off for this needs assessment and analysis, I gathered some information. So collecting resources from the MWR director and the fitness director. That included customer feedback surveys from the last 2 years. It included looking at social media, so Facebook, Yelp, Google reviews to see what patrons thought of the fitness center. And other onboarding documents that recreation specialists use when they are, learning and new to the position. I interviewed the subject matter expert. She is the one that always gets the phone call, whether she's working or not, if they're having troubles with the RecTrack software system as far as being able to do the necessary steps to complete the transaction to serve the customer. So I talked with her to see what the desired job performance was, what the specialists are currently doing, and trying to figure out that gap. I surveyed the recreation specialists on their confidence and their ability to do those types of transactions, so just those different types, how important they think it is to their job, to kind of understand if they value it or not, how often they do it, and then just a couple open-ended questions about their opinions on a training, what they thought about it. And then I just observed the workplace to get a better understanding of the environment, things that I would need to address in any type of a training, what the pace of the day is, how many customers they have, just to get a better understanding. So once I gathered the information, I analyzed the data, noticed some trends, and then based on that analyzation, I made recommendations, which included, doing a training, and kind of rolling it out in a couple of distinct phases, segmenting it so that it was a little bit easier, as well as incorporating that training for the onboarding for future recreation specialists, so that they learn from the get-go the proper way to complete these transactions. So what did I learn, and what are recommendations for the future? So I learned to keep an open mind. This problem was brought to me from the director's point of view that it was a customer service issue. And when I actually started looking through the feedback from the customers about the fitness facility and their overall thoughts, most had nothing but high praise to sing for the staff that live there, that work there, So even if there were issues with recreation specialists completing these transactions, it wasn't enough to actually impact the customer service. A lot of the patrons had positive things to say about the customer service. So if I had stopped there and said, well, the recreation specialists are getting the job done, it's not affecting the financials at all the numbers are lining up at the end of the day, it's technically not affecting customer service at all, why kind of stir up what's working? If I had just stopped after looking at the resources, I wouldn't have found out that the recreation specialists actually do want a training. They want some guidance on how to use the system. They want to be more competent and comfortable with it. So just kind of keeping an open mind and looking at the situation from multiple perspectives is really important. It's important to also communicate, which seems pretty generic. But after giving the recreation specialists this survey, it came back to me that they really wanted this training. They were asking when the training was going to be implemented, when it was going to start. They're looking for that guidance. So what I should have done was communicated with them after I finished up my needs assessment and analysis, to thank them for their participation, give them an idea of what we learned and what we're doing going forward. They're a part of the process. They deserve to know the outcome and the results of the analysis and assessment. In reference to that, kind of tailoring it to the audience, they don't need to know all of the analysis that I did and the reasons why I'm recommending what I'm recommending, but they do kind of need to know what's going to affect them going forward. So that is something that I probably should have done, and going forward with creating the training, I will communicate with them a little bit more than I did. And then asking for help when needed. There were some documents and resources and information that I would not have had access to if I didn't ask the directors for their assistance, or the subject matter expert, or even working with the recreation specialists themselves. So this job is really dependent upon the cooperation of others, so asking for help. For my analysis, I didn't have to go too deep into the statistics, but I know in the future there will be projects where the statistics will be way above my pay grade and comfort and knowledge. So tapping into a statistician to help me understand the data in order to provide the best recommendation going forward will probably be necessary. So again, just asking for help when needed is another lesson and kind of recommendation to myself for the future. So those are kind of the big three overarching lessons that I've learned from this project, and so I hope to put them into use in the future.